Hi guys, I'm Niko and welcome back to my channel. And today we are going to be analyzing the Undertaker. Another day at the graveyard, another hole to dig, another body to bury. The ship can get boring, so when the Undertaker doesn't feel like digging, he pulls out a little trick up his sleeve. If there's no dead, there's no need to work. So the Undertaker is the newest and the team race monster, which is going to come out like in 2 days by the time I'm recording this video. And by the way, I do have to talk with this. I actually quite like him. Actually, it does remind me of like Gravedigger from Plants of his Garden Warfare. So design is overall is so good. But actually now I have to mention that Undertaker is also the Dark Legendary monster. So I will try to actually compare him to the old Dark Legendary monster I've ever released. And also he's in this book, was he? Oh yeah. Oh wait. No, what element? And also he's in a... Wait, what's this book? Underworld, I think? Yeah, he's also in the Underworld book, here's this competition actually is gonna be. And also he's an Undead book. Yeah, so there's his competition right there. And he also is an Evil Region book. So, that's his competition right there actually. Which I don't actually understand why he's in the Evil Region book, because actually it doesn't say like he's actually bad. He just says that that he just digs for whole actually dead bodies, and he just he's lazy and he doesn't actually want to dig another hole for the body in. He just wants to revive them or something. I don't know why is he actually in the Evil Region, or maybe because alright then. So let's move on to his stats. The Undertaker have a power of 3,388, which actually I think is probably one of the lowest powers for the Dark Monsters. But actually it doesn't matter, because actually I don't know, he's a teammate monster, so his are going to be rank up, which I will actually show you in a minute. First of all, now let's move on to the life, which actually does have impressive life. 34,680, which I'm not missing, is probably the highest life for the Dark Legendary monsters. I am not sure, I need to check that, but I think it's probably one of the highest lives in the game. No, not in the game, but like in the Dark category. So his speed, he does have actually poor speed of 3,399. It's actually terrible speed for the Dark monsters. He can't be easily, outspeed by, monsters like, they will raise a face, Moby and Hausami, and they can, mobilize them, or Lilisha, who can also possess, but actually, his trait is actually his Gravedigger, which is one of the newest traits, which actually says immune to all kind of possession and nightmares. What does that mean actually? It means actually, if I'm not mistaken, that this guy is actually immune to hacks the hack, something like that. What that means? It does mean that Hank can't hack him, the glitch can't, corrupt him, and he can't be possessed by all the legitimate monsters. So basically the possession doesn't work on him, and because actually of the update to possession, I actually really like this trait. And he also have immune to nightmares, which I guess is actually is a nice actually thing to give him. As I just put that extra tray, because actually the nightmare do take 5% of your life and actually takes 10% of your stamina out of the first turn. So I guess this trait is nice and balanced. But actually, now let's actually just show you his stats, because actually he's a teammate monster, so you're gonna be able to get him rank him up. So there's his stats for level 105. These are his stats for level 110, and here's his stat level 150. So as you guys actually can see, if this guy is gonna be actually attacker, and I will show you just in a second. So in the default skill, there's nothing to adjust, but actually his skill very interesting. Last Ride, deals very heavy special damage to all enemies, applies buildings to all enemies, heals itself by 100%, removes all cooldowns from itself. So let me just analyze it. It deals 60 special base damage to all enemies, and also apply bleeding to them. And there's actually a very weird thing about bleeding, that was probably taking 15% of their life. I didn't know that. Just actually say it should be 10, but now it's 15. And what does that mean actually? First, we do if you actually get him 115 and if you put some strength on this monster, then he's basically going to be wiping up all the team out with some good strength runes. But I mean, like, if you compare him to to a level 100, I mean, he probably won't be able to take them out, but also apply bleeding, which may or may not actually took him out. And he also healed himself by 100%, so if you do take any damage, then you're going to recover that life. And he also reaches his own cooldown, so I mean, like, if he has that skill which was 3 turn cooldown, 2 turn cooldown, then it's actually going to be active again. I mean, like, so what does that mean actually? So that means actually he's kind of need to, what was it? Cooldowns activated. Because you're gonna see this guy does have some cooldown skills. So I mean, like I just said, actually Tamarion in the team was actually able to go fast before your Undertaker, and the cooldown is activated. So like, what does that mean? I'm like, it doesn't actually mobilize you Undertaker, because there's still 5% that he will actually get an ultimate, and if he does, then he's gonna deactivate all his cooldowns. So for the next turn, he's gonna be a free attack. Probably he will be taking, but before that turn, he's probably gonna be taking out all the monsters, because actually with the skill, because there's 60 damage with bleeding. But if he doesn't for the next turn, but if he doesn't actually take out all the monsters, then for the next turn he will be able to do something, because actually his cooldowns are gonna be active again. So that's so awesome. And I think I'm gonna skip this skills group 1 because there's something too interesting in here. He does actually have nice AoE nightmares, but I will not actually recommend on this monster, because actually, if you do get this monster ranked up, you probably do want to put on some strength on him. I mean, like as you can see, it deals no damage, so you're not gonna get benefits from your strength runes. And wait, was that actually the buff to the nightmare? It was like 15% of their life, because I was pretty sure that was basically just 5%. Anyway, whatever. That means some changes to the DLCs. But actually, as I said, actually some dark monsters, little dark monsters need to nightmares, so it won't actually benefit from that much. And that's actually a nice skill for the damage. You can cool down actually single days. That's actually pretty nice. But you won't actually be running anything from skills group 1. There's more to the skills group 2. And here we have Old School. Deals very heavy dark damage to one enemy, 50% chance of applying stun. So this is actually 55 damage, 29 stamina, and your cooldown, and this is a 50% to stun. Which actually, this skill actually you may or may not actually want to earn. Well, he does have actually upgraded version of this skill later on, but it does actually have, I think it's switching cooldown, I don't know. So I'm like, I will just come back to the skill, and the next skill we have is Rest in Peace. Applies immunity to stun, gain double damage to itself. Heals by 30%, requires cooldown. So now we have a self skill, which actually is 18 stamina to chin cooldown, and you gain immunity to stun. I mean, like, I think it's probably one of the must-have skills for this monster. I mean, like, because first of all, you actually gain immunity to stun, which I mean, if you do compare, like, let's just say it's going to be like, elemental, war, dark, thunder, and I don't know what else. And basically, the main enemy at the night is going to be will raise the face, Harusami or Mommy, because they do have stun skills. I mean, like, because with this monster, if you do manage to mobilize them first, and then actually you might actually use this self skill. If you know that you're not going to be able to, take out the denier in the first turn, then you might actually, use your self skill for the next attack, And actually, I'm going to give an example of Wolverine's of Fate, because I mean, like, if you use this skill, then actually Wolverine's of Fate won't be able to, to mobilize you in any way, because the only way of mobilizing is AoE stun, which he does have. But because you want me to stun, then actually he might actually mobilize towards your enemy, but your Undertaker he won't be mobilized because of this skill, and as I say, he does gain double damage, which actually one should cooldown to notice. He will also get double damage, and he will probably knock out one of the enemy monsters, and also you heal yourself by 30% if you took any damage. Something like, my recommended skill so far is Rest in Peace. The next skill we have is Choke Slam. Deals more than dark damage to all enemies, applies days and nightmares to all enemies. So this is actually a upgraded version of the skill scope on skill, but this time it deals 40 dark base damage, it's got 27 stamina, and it has 2 turn cooldown. And as you can read, you can apply days and nightmares to all enemy monsters. So I mean, like, actually, it's a pretty nice dark base daily, but you know, if you fight again dark monster, then you won't be doing that much damage to them. But make still, you play out nightmares and days, which I mean, like, because of they take nightmares do take 30% of life and 10% of stamina. It will actually take 50% of life for the next 4 turns, and 10% of stamina in the first turn, and days, which reduce the enemy powers by 25% and enemy accuracy by 25%. So they will have less chances to hit you, and even if they do hit you, they will have reduced damage. Something like, I think this AoE is pretty nice. If you ask me, something like, they're very good skill, and like, if you do want to run it, you can run it. And let's go move on to the skills group 3. And then the first group we do have is the Tombstone. It deals massive direct damage to one enemy, applies stun to one enemy. So this is the upgraded version of skills group 2, but this time it does actually have 100% to stun and also deals 65. It deals 10 more damage, costs too much stamina, more stamina, has that 2 turn cooldown. And this is actually the thing actually I'm gonna now ask you. Like, if you ask me which skill I will recommend, I will more like, I really like more Tombstone because actually 100% guaranteed to stun, and you know that deals 10 more damage. And also, I mean, like, if you don't want to skill all skull, then I mean, you're free to do this. And actually, I think I kind of lied. It's actually the same stamina cost. Sorry, misconception. And basically, but this one actually does have 0 turn cooldown. Something like, you can actually spam the skill and basically just hoping that stunning the enemy that will land. But I will actually just take my chance on full mobilizing stun, and hopefully taking enemy out. Hoping they're taking one enemy out with 65 damage. But I mean, something like, as I said, I could actually do this, rest in peace, and actually use the Tombstone to knock out one enemy monster. Something like that will actually then will leave me to 3 against 2 battle, which I will then hopefully the game will be my accident. So now in the next skill we have in here is Nova Self skill, which actually removes all negative stats effects from itself, heals itself by 50%. So we have itself Nova Self skill, which actually heals them by 50% and removes all negative debuffs. Now if you actually ask me, I don't think actually this skill is actually needed for this monster. I mean, like, and even though that actually does remove all negative stats effects and heals yourself by 50%, I was like recommend this skill, man, because actually, it's gonna be a saga. Something like, if he does actually because actually double damage, you need to stun, actually do work great together. Because actually, you've been giving yourself immune to stun, and actually next turn because then you can be mobilized by stun. Then actually next turn you actually follow up with attack like close slam or tombstone to actually knock out all team or knock out one enemy monster. But I don't see actually too much of use of this skill. I really don't, even though it actually removes all negative stats debuffs. So like, I don't really recommend this skill, but like, if you do want to run it, then I guess you can run it. And then that last skill in the skills group we have Dead Man Walk. Resurrect one ally with 50% of life, requires cooldown. So as you guys can see, this skill actually costs 18 stamina, has 3 turn cooldown, and it does actually revive one of your allies with 50% of life. And this is probably one of the skills actually does make some actually pretty good monster to put in Team Wars. In fact, that he does have actually this skill actually can revive one of your allies, actually makes him pretty good monster, because actually if you do ever find yourself fighting the team Wars, like where your monster, actually one of your monsters actually gonna die pretty easy, and like if you're talking about the epic, then you might actually run this guy as attacker, and then basically if one of your monsters at any time, if you're not actually one of your monsters are gonna die anytime, then actually you can run this monster all strength. Then if you one of the monster die, then you can resurrect him, and then actually it's gonna be again 3 against 3 or 3 against 2 or something like that. Something like pretty good skill, and that actually makes him actually some sort of a free to play Oriel in the dark side, not the dark side, in the dark element. I think actually just forget what I just said. So the great skill, I do actually recommend you running this skill, but like, because actually that question, and like, because he's an attacker, you know, he's supposed to be an attacker. Like some people will actually say that he's an attacker because of his low power. But like, I will only time actually recommend you actually using the old strength build on this monster when you actually do have rank him up. You know, to basically deal that, because it actually then his attack gonna be, you know, rank up. So like, then actually can use him as a great attacker. But like if you do come back to say level 100 to 100, then you might actually, I think this monster could be actually the monster you do put all team speedruns, something team speedruns, so basically, you know, to help you deny or attack, you know, get a turn on. He just, you know, just there to, you know, support, you know, to stun or whatever will need to, you know, the reverse effect and ally if whatever need to, or something like this, or you know, apply basically days and nightmares to all enemies. Like the only time I will, yeah, as I said, only if you have him ranked up, then I will actually recommend you using there. Some strength runes. So I mean, like, now actually this out of the way, which skills actually I would actually recommend you using. So first of all, I would recommend you using Rest in Peace, Choke Slam, Tombstone, and Dead Man Walks. I mean, like, as you guys think, it's actually, even for that attacker build, I would actually recommend these skills. And like, because actually, but he does have only like 2 attacking skills in here, yeah. So I mean, like, the one actually is resurrecting allies, do have 0 damage, and Rest in Peace, it does actually also have 0 damage. But some people might actually want to run old school instead of Tombstone, because actually, you know, it does have 0 turn cooldown, and you can spam this skill, because actually, let's just say you use Rest in Peace, then Choke Slam, then you basically get almost to dying, then basically your turn goes again, then you just the Tombstone, then if you didn't manage, you know, to take out the, well, I mean, like I just said that, you know, you use the Choke Slam, you manage to kill one of the enemy monsters out of 2 enemy monsters, and you use the Tombstone, and you suddenly miss, yeah? Like, because actually if you're using him as a main attacker, and if, let's just say this skill actually does miss on enemy monsters, like, you won't be able to, you know, to take him out, so then actually, you just have to wait, like, if there's one more turn to, you know, to actually use any of these skills. But like, as well, in the next time I might actually use Rest in Peace, actually, you know, to your next, so this actually going to be stronger. I guess you can actually use kind of this. But like, if you don't actually want to use, you know, Tombstone, you might old school, because it does have 1 cooldown. I mean, like, it's actually, I think it's way better. It's actually using. Some people actually say it's way better old school rather than Tombstone, because it does have 1 cooldown. Whatever time you will need to attack, then you will be able to attack, because 1 turn cooldown, 0 turn cooldown. Yeah, so I mean, like, that can. So that's gonna be basically it for my analyzing for this monster. So I mean, like, if this actually is not a full analyzing, because actually this must have been released, and then I actually changed everything by the last minute before this monster got released. So if it is actually going to be changed, then I will do update analyzing on him shortly after that. But that's it for this video, and hope you enjoyed the video. Goodbye.